Welcome to what's going to be another great Dev and Tell. So, if you didn't know, Dev and Tell is a 30-minute window for members of the DAO to showcase something they're passionate about or have been working on. This could be an awesome project you've been working on, demonstrating unit testing best practices, automation goodies, smart contracts, how to structure a project, etc. Basically, if you've got a passion for something, this is your opportunity to share it with the community. And today I'm happy to introduce Mike, who will be presenting Building Web 4 to us. Take it away, Mike.
All right, thank you so much, Narb. My name is Mike. I joined the DAO, I think, a few months ago at this time. And the project is building Web 4, the Abundance Protocol. And I guess I'll start somewhere in the beginning. So it's an idea that came out around like 2016, around like the election time, actually, of 2016. And it led to two problems that we're trying to solve. So obviously around that time, I'm sure all of you or most of you, if you're not from the US, know that there's like a lot of kind of media issues, media problems in the sense that like distrust in media, in social media, like, people were saying things and like the other side didn't believe, didn't understand, and there's like a complete lack of trust between people and in relation to media. And I was trying to figure out like what's going on. Why is there such a lack of trust? Why people can't, like, if you post something that show something in a sort of credible news source, why people just refuse to believe it. And at some point, I was trying to figure this out, trying to kind of, track what's going on. And one of the issues that I realized it's really a problem with incentive mechanisms of social media and of media itself. That basically, a lot of it is about getting clicks, getting, rewarded not based on actually providing real information, but on either getting one side to kind of believe what you're saying and kind of vilifying the other side so you can get more clicks, so you can make more money from advertising, stuff like that. So that was clear to me that this is like a very bad model, but obviously like that's just how things are. Didn't really think like, can we actually solve it? Can we fix it? But as things progress, and it seemed that the distrust just kept growing, and the whole country, like the US, it's kind of drifting apart. And I did realize that there has to be another way. There has to be like another way of bringing trust back. And I realized that one of the issues is as I said before, the incentive structure of this attention economy that's not driven by actual information, but it's driven by getting more likes, more clicks, which causes people to basically produce information that's not necessarily accurate, but rather that's causing hate and division, which brings more clicks. So in that sense, credibility was very important, but how do you solve it? Like there's, obviously fact checkers and stuff like that, but, a lot of people don't even trust the fact checkers. So I realized that one thing is you do have to have a decentralized approach, which is basically that it's not some kind of one authority that's giving you the facts, but rather, the facts have to come from lots of people from different backgrounds, that you can build trust from the fact that that the system is not not supposed to be against you, but rather just supposed to provide you the information. So that's kind of the start. And as I was researching this more, I kind of realized that, well, it's actually one of the issues is just how the market works, which is, when we, um, you know, what the market values is exchange value. You produce something and then you sell it to someone. But if you produce information, there's no exchange value, because information, you can sell it to one person, to a million people. There's no exchange there, because what you're producing is infinite. And the way the market works right now is that it doesn't sell the information, it sells attention, because attention is limited, it's scarce. And since that's a scarce thing, you can sell it. And that applies to pretty much everything. So, when we create even something that's, very valuable, it's not necessarily something that's going to have value in the market, just because you may not be able to exchange it if it's not something scarce. So, for example, even if you have a cure for some disease, if the cure is not in a form that you can sell, in the sense that it's not a pill, it's not some kind of product, it will have very little value in the market. Maybe you can write a book about it, but then, are you going to sell like millions and millions of books? Or is it just like, if it's a simple idea, maybe a few people buy the book, but everyone else is like, can just hear about it from someone else, and you'll get maybe like, I don't know, like $50,000, versus if you sold a pill and made billions. So again, it's not about what you actually create, but what you can exchange. And that's kind of the starting point of where Web3 comes in, and where I feel that Web3 has a solution to this, and can actually create a different incentive structure that allows information to be exchanged, not exchanged, but to be produced and valued based on the quality of the information, based on the credibility, and not just information, but anything that has an impact, that has a value. We can actually produce it and value it through mechanisms in Web3. So that's kind of the idea that I was working through and trying to resolve, and trying to kind of come up with this mechanism. And that took a while. Well, first of all, kind of a background on myself. I was, back in 2016, I was not a developer. My background is in economics and in architecture. So I had very little knowledge of how to program, how to build anything. But I had this idea, and I was trying to resolve it. And I was thinking, well, does anyone want to build it? And there's a lot of people said, "Oh my God, this is an incredible idea. We'll see how it develops." And I'm like, okay, but who's gonna build it? Someone needs to build it. And I was going through kind of just selling this idea, but there was no one out there that was actually building it or working it. So I decided, all right, how about I try to figure out how to do it. So I started kind of learning how to code, and around 2019 I started coding an extension for like a browser extension. That the idea is that anyone can go to any website and review if it's a news article, or really any article, or any piece of information out there. So any person can review it, and then look how other people reviewed it. And based on that article would get a certain credibility score. And the idea was that you have to do it in a, again, decentralized way, a transparent way, that people know that no one can really kind of manipulate the system, because, if it's Web 2, if it's stored on some server, then someone can just change the numbers. Or produce whatever numbers they want to support whatever is their economic or political or social goals. If it's decentralized and if it's transparent, then people know that this information is credible. the other aspect is the incentive structure, which is, again, going back all the way to the beginning, that in the attention economy, the incentive structure is very different from what we're trying to build in Web3. So in Web2, again, it's about attention, it's about selling attention, which produces these negative externalities of people trying to just, get clicks. But in Web3, what we can do is we can have a token, and that token, the value of that token can be driven by how credible information is, and how reliable the system is. And it's not a direct relationship yet. This is something that we work through, like the mechanism for the system has to be worked through. And that's pretty much what we've been doing over the past year, kind of revising the mechanism and making sure that people cannot just kind of cheat the system or trick the system. So I guess that was a long, rambling introduction. I didn't actually say what the system is yet, but that's kind of like a very long history of what we're trying to build. So what is it really? So it's a system, it's an ecosystem where the idea is that people can review not just like articles or content online, but anything that is online, any kind of digital content. It could be open source code, it could be research articles, scientific research, investigative journalism, really anything. And the value that the review would assign to that piece of content is based, first of all, on the credibility of the content and on the impact that people believe this piece of content, whether it's a news article or research or open source, how much people believe that would have an impact on the broader, on society, on the ecosystem, and how much it would reward people in the long run. And there's a whole, the whole mechanism behind it to make sure that people can.
Yeah, maybe can you do like a quick TLDR of the last couple minutes? My apologies. Hotel
Sure.
Wi-Fi sucks.
Sure. All right. So basically, we created a mechanism that is supposed to allow people to earn money by creating high quality content, which could be open source, could be research, actually journalistic articles, and so on. And other people can make money by creating honest reviews of that content, and everyone is kind of incentivized toward those goals, and people would not really be able to cheat the system thanks to the mechanism that we created.
Awesome. Is there a website or something people can go to see this mechanism?
Sure. So basically, I can share the screen. The coding is really in an early stage. The real difficult part was creating the incentive structure to make it all work. But the website is buildingweb4.io. I don't know if you guys can see it, if it's live.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
So here it is. Again, the coding is in a very, very early stage, which means that it's, first of all, it is on the Mumbai testnet, which is Mumbai Polygon testnet. But it's very early, which means that most of the functionality is still not coded in the UI. A lot of it is in the smart contract, which is still being developed. But here it is. So people will be able to kind of create a project, a post, or initial review of some like their own post um, or their or someone else's, and they'll be able to collaborate with others. I'm not sure if I'm still sharing the screen.
You are.
If
Yep.
it's good. Okay, good. So they'll be able to collaborate with others, review other people's content. They be able to fund if they're creating a project. You can basically crowd fund it, but crowd fund in the sense that there's an economic incentive, which means that even though the project itself is a public good and everyone can get all the information for free, because the project will have a value in the system. People can fund it and get some kind of percent return on their funding. So that basically accrues value to the token, which accrues value to the whole ecosystem, which means all the projects will have value. And then there's funding proposal, which means basically that if you believe that there is something out there that needs to be researched, needs to be created, some kind of open source app or whatever it is, you can put a proposal out there, and again, the proposal will be reviewed and will have a value in the system. And then if someone builds it, they'll be able to claim that value. So it's obviously very similar to like bounties and DAOs and stuff like that, but it's a lot more decentralized because there's no specific voting for any proposal, but rather the whole ecosystem works by kind of localized voting on projects. And then explore, basically, people will be able to see the latest projects, or based on kind of their own interests, or based on some kind of curated version. And then obviously they'll be able to search. This is obviously not the full thing. There's going to be a lot more options, but they'll be able to search through funding requests, and then obviously fund those, or they'll be able to search through new projects, or just have a general search. It could be basically a replacement to Google, which provides you results based on what benefits their economics, instead of what actually is something that has credibility and value. So again, very early stage of the coding, but everything up to this was kind of resolved in the mechanism.
Cool. Could you speak to any challenges that you faced or your team faced when you were building this,
Sure.
or even like experiencing now, I suppose?
Yeah. I mean, one big challenge. So again, is going back to the fact that I never kind of thought of myself as a developer. So everything that I worked on, like even this website, I didn't even know like React or like Next.js, what it's built on, even a few months ago. So all this is pretty much, learning as you build. The
Yeah.
solidity, the all the programming, and also one big challenge is getting the just getting the word out there. I think that might have been the most challenging part, because
Yeah.
especially when you have like a bull market, which is not the case now, but when you have a bull market, everyone is jumping on the latest craze, the latest NFT, the latest whatever, and people don't care as much about kind of more, growth oriented projects, because it's like, oh, this is somewhere in the future, who knows what's going to happen to it. So just getting the information out there is a big challenge.
Oh, yes, I can imagine. Um, and is your project open source? Can anybody help out to build it out for you with you?
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a big part of it that it has to be open source, because people have to be able to trust that the system is transparent, and that it works. And a big part is really incentivizing, we have it. It says right here, rewarding collaboration and creativity. And the idea is that the more people contribute to open source, they should be able to be rewarded for it. Unlike how it is today. I mean, in Web3, it's a bit better, but still no. But yeah, everyone can contribute. You can go to connect to the GitHub, and you can see the repository, and you can obviously contribute there. And obviously, we have a Discord. You can join our community, and we're more than happy to have people help and build this out.
Awesome, awesome. Is there any one particular area you're looking for help at the moment, or just anything and everything?
Everything. The solidity, the just building the smart contracts. Basically, it's pretty the logic, the mechanism is pretty complex. But we did resolve most of the issues. Is just an issue of coding it, of and building it all out and building on top of it, because there's going to be a lot of tooling that allows people to kind of extend the possibilities of what we have now, like creating something that allows DAOs to connect directly to it. So people who contribute to a DAO, they can be rewarded through the contribution kind of directly, instead of like other mechanisms or going through kind of complex voting systems. So yeah, if anyone wants, please join our Discord, or we can talk obviously on Developer DAO. So anywhere you want, we're open.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, looking forward to the continued progress on this project here. We only have a few minutes left here, gang. Does anyone in the crowd have any questions for Mike? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right then.
All right.
Thank you so much again, Mike, for coming on and sharing the abundance protocol with us. It's like I said, we'll all be waiting in the wings, seeing, watching its progress as you continue to build it out with the team. So, uh, with that, I want to wish everybody a very happy Friday or weekend, wherever you may be in the world, and that I will be dropping a link to the POAP claims for the people in attendance. And Mike, I'll forward you your POAP through DM. And with
Sounds
that,
good. Thank you so much, Norb.
yeah,
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending.
yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure.
All right.
All right, gang. With that, I will stop the recording.